Bates, Community Helps Itself in Cheap Markets.
Alt 98.7 with another.
We're already in the building. I know I talked to you on the last video about that, but we are in. I'm turning on the music, right? But we are in, and I was just sitting here on my way back to the homestead of at Chief Farms, and just really being grateful. Anything we set our minds to, we set our hearts to, we have purpose in. As long as we got the faith, we can do anything we want to do and accomplish. It takes, my lesson has been like it takes absolutely getting to the place of your authentic self, living and finding who that is and how you operate in this world. And I know we're all going through some really powerful things, as we all are in consciousness working together. So what I'm experiencing, I know you're experiencing, we're all experiencing the same thing on this particular vibrational level. If you're listening to me, you're going to get it. And it's happening to you, or it's happening to you soon. So there's just so many possibilities now. A lot of people talk about moving into this new timeline. Sorry about the wind. But where literally it feels like if you're operating, I won't get too crazy, but 5D or 3D world, is still very earthly based on things. And you get your pleasure and your happiness from things. And as we move more, I believe, into just my personal experience, my humble experience, I'll keep it as humble as I can on this, but you move into the other stuff, the things don't matter so much anymore. What matters is your peace, and your quality of life, and your passion, that you're doing something you love. And, after going through this move the third time in a year, I was exhausted, literally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, and I'm still there today after my day, but I made it through the half of the day with really the energy that I wanted to put behind coming back out after we got moved last week, and just watching it all come together, and just knowing it couldn't have happened without all of you in the community that held space or pointed us in a direction or bought foods so that we could stay in business even while all this transition was occurring. We didn't have to miss a step or stop supporting the community because we just couldn't financially do it. We had enough business. We had enough to keep us moving forward, and we did. And a couple of really cool calls. Trying to be hands-free here. We had a couple of really cool calls, a couple of people making donations, and I was like, wow, thank you, God, thank you, life, thank you, source, thank you that people are getting what we're doing. We're not just asking for money. We got some bills to pay, but that's not what we're doing. What we're doing is we are creating a purpose-driven movement, a food movement, because we all realize how important it is. And so what we're doing is we're putting our energy, those of us that are doing it, and the volunteers that are coming forward with skills way beyond me, way beyond Bates. These are youthful skills now in that in technology and websites and social media, y'all. I've really only been on Facebook. I never even got too much into Instagram because it was just too much for Bates, And I did the Meta thing, and luckily I had people at Mediafy where I was working to help me through that. But we all have these people helping us. It's like these angels, kind of being there for us, whether they be dogs, the dogs, the cheese, the hobbies, the lights, your dogs, your cats, your animals, all those things that hold space for you, your friends that are showing up now, right? These people that are showing up to assist because our purpose is right in alignment. This food thing ain't just a Bates thing. It's a everybody thing. It's a people don't want to be sick anymore from going to big box grocery stores. They don't want their kids to deal with that they're dealing with in their 20s and 30s now because, I did a presentation today at BNI, and, that presentation was basically 70%. And this is this is coming from sourced materials. I've got it. If you want it, I can send it to you. 70% of the food in the grocery stores is really unhealthy. It's called unhealthy levels, but 70%. I say it's higher than that. Sadly enough, we're grateful for the grocery stores. They provided a service, but the corporations behind them have made the food within them not something we really want to ingest. And it didn't used to be that way. Did you know in Chattanooga, Nikki from the Chattanooga Co-op was telling me, there used to be like 58 small grocery stores doing what we're doing, 40, 50, 60 years ago. That's what we're doing. We're bringing community back into communities, and we're finding this whole thing, Chi, was developed and designed. My intention behind it was to replicate and duplicate. Create a business that anybody can do. It takes a lot of work. I'm not saying it's easy, and I wanted to quit a lot of times, but anybody could do what we did because I didn't take a loan out to do it. I didn't take any money out until we had moved to a physical location, and that was through Square, so I could buy more product because we didn't have the cash flow coming in. So just to buy additional products and stuff, and to watch kind of the swing of this whole food movement and how powerful it's becoming. I want to do a podcast soon or a video soon just talking about those statistics of what we're dealing with in the world and how many people are not even being fed. And if we built community structure like what we've done here, we're now in North Chattanooga. We were in Red Bank first, now in Chattanooga, but we served Chattanooga for almost 13 years, somewhere in around there. I took a couple of breaks. But we've been serving for a long time, and now if we can get this momentum, we met with Tim Kelly, a group of grassroots people, and Blake, if you hear this, thank you for putting all that together. Very professional. And we had the opportunity to talk with the mayor. Some of the things we're doing, he didn't even know anybody was doing anymore, because I think the city got in there. My understanding was the city got in there, said, oh, we want to do this, but there was nobody to do it. And after the meeting, he walked up to me and said, I didn't know you were doing this. And I'm like, it's all good. It wasn't anything that needed to be talked about. What needed to happen is we needed to get it right before we could even present a possible model to Chattanooga, to our towns and communities where we know we could pull this off. Where we know that, especially if we get churches involved, that have space available that they're not really utilizing to the fullest, we could bring communities together because we might could afford that kind of space. And they, a church has its own community within it, and those people want health, and they want to be able to look, Jesus said feed the people, or feed the poor, I think he did, and I think Buddha, I always refer to those two, but I get them backwards. I need to study up on that a little bit, but said feed the people and feed the poor. So there is something magical and enlightening and lifting and conscious about what we were told to do, and that is feed the people. So we don't want to feed them bioengineered foods. That's not what any of our leaders or teachers or gods or God or whatever, they didn't tell us feed these people bioengineered foods. The proof of that is we've watched 50 years corporations be involved, and we've watched our food supply and the nourishment within the food become less and less nutrient dense, less and less healthy because of preservatives and artificial everything that goes into that stuff. Food's having to travel 1,500 miles on the average to get to your grocery store. That's not always the case. There are people doing it much closer, but we don't know where that food all came from. So man, what a mess they have created out there. We were them until we said, no, we're not doing that anymore. We don't want to make people sick. We want to heal people through local foods. So that's what we're doing. If you'd like to donate, man, we got a lot of work to do. You can go to GoFundMe, and it's under Community Helps Itself G Markets. It's also on Facebook. You can go down the link and it'll say, here's our GoFundMe page if you want to donate. Community Helps Itself Facebook. If you want to just give us a call or whatever, my number is 423-800-9043. Text me. There's so much happening. We're building collaborations with farmers, makers, and growers, and people like you So and we're getting a team together that can manage it on our website so that we can truly build it. We can expand on the alternative economy that we have already created together. It's taken many of us to get here over the years. I can't tell you the numbers of teams we've had together at She Ministries, She Love Ministries, and then now Community Helps Itself, and it's continuing to evolve. But what's so cool about it is we're on the same page. We know where we need to go. We know what we need to do. There's no reason to not participate with each other and support each other on the journey. You know, what you did a few years ago may look different because you were getting through the journey to get where you are now. So anyway, I love you all. I thank you. I'm going to cut this thing off. And thank you so much for your time, your love. I'm in total humble gratitude. Come see us at the new store, 701 Mississippi Avenue, across from Normal Park in St. Mark's Methodist. Down, if you're facing it, look to the left, go down the driveway, and we're in that great big building, the venue. We're getting ready to look at some really cool events that we're going to have in that space too. So anyway, Bates at communityhelpsitself.org. Website www.communityhelpsitself.org. Start a box with us. That's probably the best way you can do anything. Getting good, healthy nutrition from your local community. Thanks, everybody. I'm encouraged by you. I'm inspired by you, and I thank you. Have a good day. Bye.